Hi everyone, my name is Bola Adebisi. It's my pleasure to be here with you again today. Today, this presentation will be looking at common mistakes by vendors when preparing a bid. Mistakes are bound to occur in any endeavor, really. Sometimes mistakes can be minor, sometimes they can be costly. In bidding, when mistakes occur, they can place you that your bid may be declared as non-responsive and therefore not considered at all. A rejected bid means you are no longer in contention, and that's a lost bid that you cannot win. The first mistake I'll be looking at is a very elementary one, really. And most people will be wondering how it can happen. Failure to sign your bid documents. You need to sign your bid documents in the appropriate places. Many times I will advise that you sign every page of your bid document and number the pages serially. Another mistake that can also occur is failure to enclose supporting literature and materials in your bid. When you are quoting for an equipment, you may need brochure, literature, photographs that need to be included to make sure that the client understands exactly what you are offering. If you don't include this, it can be a very fatal mistake. Another possible mistake is failure to include a bid bond when a bid bond is required for the tender. Usually the bid bond is a percentage of the amount you quoted. Sometimes it's a percentage, 2-3%, 0.5%, depending on what the bidder or the client wants. It is very important to include the bid document and include it in the right value. If they want 3% of the amount you quoted and you are offering 2.5% of the amount you quoted in terms of value, it is as bad as not including a bid bond. And at that point, the client may no longer consider your bid, may judge the client as non-responsive and is rejected. Another possible mistake is failure to indicate on your bid if you are offering an alternative bid. Sometimes the client wants a particular type of solution in the bid for the bid, and you are offering a different approach or even technology, but you believe that your own position will solve the problem. You can do this as an alternative bid, but you must indicate on the bidding document that this is what we are doing. Another possible mistake is failure to respond to mandatory requirements of the bidder. What do I mean by this? At times, there are environmental policy statements that you need, that the bidder wants, that the client wants you to sign off on. Sometimes there's anti-corruption, anti-collusion statements. You need to sign these as statements as put forward by the client and put your company stamp on it and include it in your bid. If you don't do this peradventure, it may mean that you are not responsive to the requirements of the bid. Another possible mistake is failure to label envelopes correctly as required. In some instances, you may have to put the name of the client, the name of the bidder, the reference title of the bid itself, and sometimes it is indicated that this is the closing date of the bid, and you have to write at the back of the envelope not to be opened before 12 noon or so date. If you don't do this, these are mistakes that sometimes may render your bid unresponsive. Also, there are mistakes that sometimes happen that when you are having more than one lot, when you are bidding for more than one lot, putting envelopes in the wrong, putting bids in the wrong envelopes. Elementary as this may be, these mistakes do occur. When they occur, sometimes you may be lucky to find people who are kind enough to help you put them correctly. Sometimes you may say, some may just get angry, especially when they are very busy, and declare a bid unresponsive. Another problem that can arise is failure to ask questions when the bidding documents, the areas of the bidding documents are not clear to you. The client allows a period, a window period, during which a bidder can ask questions, and they will provide answers for these questions. The only proviso is that when a bidder asks a question, the answer and the question are then circulated to every bidder in order to give everybody a fair chance and a level playing field. Of course, the name of the person who has the question of the company will not be mentioned. It's just that a question on this arose, I was asked by a bidder, and this is the answer we provided. This is also very, very important. Mistakes can arise in the issue of prices. Sometimes you may not put the prices in the format required. This is not a good one. Sometimes there are arithmetic errors, in which case the unit price and the quantity need to be multiplied, and then the total price is obtained. And then eventually, when there are more than one item, the final figure down below. When this occurs, what the client may do is to take your unit price, multiply it by the quantity, get value, and correct the arithmetic error. This may just be fine, provided the sum now obtained does not put you out of range, out of consideration. This is something that we must pay attention to. Also, there's a case where documents may be missing, where some items may be missing in your bid. It is easy sometimes to forget to include the tax license certificate, the certificate of your staff professionals in areas where they are applying for the company profile, sometimes the ITF certificate or NSITF. Mistakes will just occur, which may just affect your responsiveness to the bid conditions. These are mistakes that you really have to watch out for. Another possible mistake is outdated documents, age of documents, as I put it. In the public service, it is allowed that it is believed that in case of documents that have age, like tax clearance, you may not get it for the first 3 months of the year. But by the time you go into April, people believe that any documents you should obtain for that year, you should have obtained it. The one of previous years will no longer be acceptable. Sometimes you even have the correct age, the correct document. Somebody may mistakenly put that of the preceding year there. These are some of the problems that arise in terms of bid preparation. Of course, these are not exhaustive, but time may not permit us to list more than this. In conclusion, there's something to say that when you are preparing a tender and you are fully preparing it, the person who prepared it should hand it over to another person who was not involved in the preparation at all. That person will read it from the beginning to the end, pointing out mistakes, correcting errors that will have arisen in the course of preparation, so that you get a near perfect document, so that at least to improve your chances of winning the bid. It has been a pleasure presenting this presentation today. If you like the presentation and find it useful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Thank you very much.